work, please work, please work, please work, please work. Please. Okay. Okay, it looks a lot better. Oh, I'm on this thing. I'm cool. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. All right, I think we're good. If we're not good, then it is what it is. But thank you so much, Akash, for joining me again today, folks. We were talking about anything and everything. Dang, my hair's messed up. But anything and everything. Andor season 2, season 1, damn it, and Rogue One, which me and Akash just watched together recently. Last weekend?
Yeah, this weekend. Last weekend.
Last weekend. Okay. But so starting off, as someone who's, because you watched the entire show within like a month or a week. What was the time frame?
Much.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
So how are we feeling? Because you have everything like in your brain pretty recently.
I mean, like really surprised in general. I started the first maybe year after the first, but I only watched one. I don't know if I finished or not, but like, and the problem was, I don't know time, so I immediately like offered catch up now for season 2. Perfect. Unexpected. I think when I was
Okay.
I saw about it, back to it. It was not about like Jedi or any about galaxy. Kind of
Definitely.
really shows about. So I got into that. Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's like exactly. I was listening to an interview that Tony Gilroy did.
Yeah.
For people who may not know, that's like the director of the show. Um, and he was talking about like how in the Star Wars galaxy, like, well, one in Rogue One, the movie that he also directed, it's like none of them see Force wielders. So it's like seeing like a Jedi or a Sith is like such like a rare occurrence. Like it barely happens, but yet it's like a disproportionate amount of movies and TV shows that we've seen centered around them. And so I personally love that like we see like the nitty gritty of the Star Wars universe and like like the day to day life, as you were saying, of like kind of like the average person and how they're able to make a, because I feel like it's a lot easier to make a difference like when you have like a lightsaber or you have the Force, but when you're just out there just blaster and bullets, you know what I'm saying, like not much you can do except using your own agency and all that. So I feel like that's one part I love so much. So who there's a lot of great, excellent, not even great, there's a lot of excellent characters in Andor, and we even say Rogue One as well. So who is your favorite character in Rogue One and in Andor? And it can be the same person.
You talked about but Rennick, a character who's our first. I mean, bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
Has an objective. He wants to get his Death Star when.
Yeah.
But behind character and like thing that came up, just like hierarchy, fire that's shown original forever. Questioning themselves. Super Krennic is because he's context guy, but retrospect kind of like I don't know how to articulate. Um, his like the energy project. Krennic is not the go.
Yeah.
I know. Talking about time, but have any other?
Yeah. First off, talk about Krennic. I think that Krennic's definitely the swaggiest person. I think I mentioned this to you, but just like bro has a cape. Like who has a cape other than Jedi's? Like he must like the actor must have been like, give me a damn cape or something like that. But so I love that for sure. Definitely bonus points for style. K2SO, I do love him a lot. I feel like specifically in Rogue One, it was cool just seeing like a droid with more like spunk and attitude, and that like was also capable of handling himself. Like we see C3PO and R2D2 of course in the original movies, but it's like they're just beep boop bop, they're not really doing much. R2's tasing people, but like to see K2 just like have the guns, and then obviously how he dies in Rogue One, but just like he goes out fighting, and then to see him get his flowers when he just takes out like everyone that the Empire sends when they try to get Andor and what's her name, and when they're like locked up on Coruscant. Clea, yeah, exactly. And so that was really cool. But I think in terms of just like my favorite character, I mean, I really love Luthen. I feel like, man, just I'm still trying to process the way that he went out, and I'd love to hear your take. I mean, it's clear that he knew that his time was up and that he was gonna get found out or caught eventually. And I do feel like the timing of it was just so crazy that like he was willing. I mean, I guess it makes sense in line of his character because he was always willing to kind of like sacrifice his life away, um, in order, and like he literally made the ultimate sacrifice in order to have everyone hear about the Death Star and all that. But I don't know. I feel like also like how they used his background and like with like a younger Cleo was cool, but I don't know if I really like bought into like him being like the younger self, and like that being like the gravitating like moment, like I don't want to be in the Empire anymore. Like did you feel motivated by that, or like you know what I mean?
So yeah, well, you're the open. Whenever they were getting backstory, and whatever powering ship.
Yeah.
I certainly expect him.
Yeah.
I didn't. I expect came from high society kind of given by family or like work, like very um, knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
I never can't fight for the empire anymore. I thought that was like,
Mm.
I didn't
Okay,
just like
that's good. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
show it throughout. Um,
That, yeah, I think that's a good point because like also I did assume like similar to you that he just came from royalty or like a
right.
wealthier family or wealthier planet or whatnot, and just
Yeah.
like, and I guess maybe it was kind of the mystery of it that I enjoyed so much. Like I feel like the fact that I didn't know how he came into this position, and of course like he's such a profound character. Like I feel like it gives him more credibility, like to know like his origin story in a sense. But I like that. I like how you brought up that disgust line he had because it's like he was disgusted by being in the Empire, and then it's like
Right.
he's telling someone that's in the Empire that they're gonna be disgusted. Like,
Forever.
yeah, yeah, okay, that's nice. And I think that brings up a great talking point about Dedra, and she is, I mean, we knew she's one of the characters that doesn't appear in Rogue One, and so we knew that something was going to happen with her. And just like, since it's a lot more fresh in your mind, I would love to hear like your thoughts on her trajectory from like, like young up and rising to like, we see her and having the final act in the Gorman massacre, that one that gave
Yeah.
that command, and then where she ended up. So like, how, what were you, because I mean, like, obviously she was written intended to be a character that the audience didn't like. And so, like, did you feel like she like got what she deserved in a sense? You know what I mean? Like, or would you rather have her been like killed or something?
Sure, because like obviously can't help but anything that she like believed. And like so when
Mm.
imperial can I don't know my parents. I was raised by the empire. This is all I've never known happiness like ever. Ever.
Mm.
Because it's she knows. And as an audience, I was like, every so often get a moment where you're thinking that changing a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
her are of that. She's just gonna be moment
Interesting. Yeah.
where I don't remember it
Yeah.
was like the form
Yeah, I forget his name too, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and um, after as that was and other came in, and he was like begging for help from
Mm,
Dedra. He
yeah,
was like, "I'm about to, my bosses are, I don't, I'm watching like, for
that's a
all
great
our
point.
coworkers.
Yeah,
We see,
helps
gives
him out. Yeah,
I think she gives
yeah,
Cassian
yeah. She gives her the code. She's like, "Oh, check this frequency or whatever." Like,
yeah,
yeah.
she essentially um I think her it was more like
Mm,
um she's based in uh uh um she got her ass handed to her and gonna face um
yeah. Wow. And I think on that topic specifically about the Empire really having this sense or this the propaganda that's just riddled all over, and even
yeah
I think the most interesting part, and something that was probably a scene that like I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, and it's the scene of Partagas where he shoots himself, and I feel like that was really interesting to me because I can't remember off the top of my head ever seeing. I think that was our first suicide in the Star Wars universe, like that I can think of, and so I think that that's like insane that one it got to that, and two that Tony Gilroy was like, I need this in this show. And I feel like it just shows like kind of what you were mentioning earlier about how there's this series of command, this level of the food chain, if you will, where
yeah
it's like there's always a bigger fish out there, and how Partagas knew that he would, or at least he had the foresight that he might have been doing the same thing that, or have the same ending that Dedra had if he didn't do that. And so I feel like the fact that someone is so fearful to like, or like knows that that is in store and is still willing to like go along with this whole charade the entire time.
yeah
Just, and I just thought about this. I love how they are playing, I forget his name, but his manifesto. What's his name?
Namek
Nemec.
Namek
I knew it was an N.
yeah bro
I was like, this man was talking about, and how he literally was talking about how like tyranny is like unstable or something, and it's like it's fearful, like it's unnatural. I think it's unnatural is the word he used, and
yeah
it's like those are the words that he's choosing to listen to, and like I want to imagine that at that point, part of guys knows that he's gonna take himself out, and so that just like that just spoke volume. That's why I love this show and really encourage like. I mean, I assume anyone that does end up watching this has already watched the show, but like I feel like that's why this is not just like a Star Wars show, but also like just like an overall good show that
yeah
touches on themes that are like deeper and
yeah
obviously highly relevant to this current day and age. And so I think that that different dynamic of this really sets it apart. And I think it's a shame that Tony Gilroy will never do another Star Wars thing again. But I definitely I think that Andor will be like a timeless thing that people will watch like time and time again for sure.
I agree and I think her pipeline is gonna be a we expect like
Mm,
I know a few people watch Rogue One. I've seen it on TikTok, so I imagine that's
yeah.
that they were going to put that back in to the show. So I was like, said, give me a moment to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
I was like, no way, no way. This shot where he put the last down. Like they're about to show this, and they cut over.
Yeah.
Because even
yeah.
I wish the fact that they understand shit messed up either consequently get killed
Yeah.
or like and the fact that like there's no option. How are you like hire and do your job? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put that up because like when I saw okay, there's like a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
Even though we believe it's just so weird.
Speak on that. What's weird?
That that are looking or power just kind of understanding, not like it. Can mess up or do this to assert control. Like, so it was just a great way of demonstrating it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like it, like while you were talking about that, I was thinking about how like in its own sense, like they're facing their own rebellion sort of thing. And it's like things that the rebellion, like the actual rebellion is facing on Yavin, trying to grow their numbers and being more disciplined and yada yada and like rising up against the Empire. It's like it is unnatural in the sense that the Empire is struggling within itself. I mean, you do have people like Dedramiro who are trying to climb the ranks, and you have people that are just like comfortable in their position, just trying to do their job. So I feel like it it really does make you ask the questions. Like I feel like a cool show, like what I'm just thinking of is, what if there's like a show that showed like the progression of like, so we know that there's these imperial orphanages out there. Like what if there's a show that follows four or so imperial orphans and we see them work their way up through the empire? So it's like they go through like different sectors. One can be a pilot, one can be an ISB or whatever, or a general or war or whatever. And I feel like that would just be kind of like a cool part to like show like the different mindsets and kind of how everything mashes together. Am I cooking? Is that tough? Because yeah, I feel like a big question I have is, and that was like explored in this show. It's like, what are the Imperialists actually thinking this entire time? Like, are they do they have emotion? Are they blind to it? I think that we saw like a good range from Dedra to what's his name? Like even the Cyril. Oh yeah, Cyril. Talk about Cyril. Wow, his wait, not to deviate completely, but his crash out was a crash out. And the moment where he has Andor in his crosshair, and Andor says, "Who are you?" Yeah. Yikes. Yikes.
I just spent years.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, yeah.
Years looking, chasing you. Bane of my.
Yeah.
Killed how many of ISB?
Him in the beginning, it was like I forget what it was called. No,
It's like
it's
a security patrol.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like the
Yeah.
company something. Yeah.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And
If
and maybe and this might be the Mandela effect and me misremembering the actual scene, but I feel like Cyril wasn't actually gonna shoot him. Like like wasn't he pulling away a little bit? Maybe I'm forgetting, but I feel like Cyril is like lowering his gun and like
Cyril was the one, Cassian was.
but Cassian didn't have a gun. Like Cyril had the gun to Cassian.
I don't even.
Okay, yeah,
Cyril.
yeah, because he was pissed, and then he's like, because they're scrambling, he's pissed. He has the gun, and then he gets shot in the head.
Yeah, he may have like lowered.
Yeah,
He gets shot like a.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think like the lowering of it might have just been like in shock, like embarrassment. Like
Yeah.
I have no idea. That would, like, but this is of women.
Mm-hmm.
Or the
Yeah, yeah,
like playing um just a big public gathering. Everyone was there, just like kind of just honest.
yeah.
And I don't remember exactly what he said. Girls like,
Hmm.
and in my head, I'm thinking, it's like there was weird, like I saw uh information, whatever. So I'm gonna get. So these guys are kind of understanding. So I was just sort of like going with the part.
Hmm.
I think I saw him communicate
Like
with the older guy.
during that meeting or
Might have been during the meeting, like person chanted
hmm.
or like joined, even though he said I don't understand, says it in like pronunciation. So I'm like, hey, well, you could be a smart or I mean, your dad could be. I don't know.
In-
That was like a little theory that I had, but I
Interesting.
don't know. I don't know if that.
Yeah, I think I remember it because I know at the first large meeting, Cyril stays later and talks to the cons or lons, whatever
Yeah.
the dude's name is. I think it's that he said like it's like the salutations, like when they say their goodbyes, he says it in perfect. Like he does like the whole customs perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think I like how I interpreted that or I attributed that is to his like because we see throughout his whole life he has this like desire for excellence. Like even though he's like one of like the lowest ranking people, he'll like iron his suits and like trim it, do all this extra shit just to like come off as perfect and refined and neat and just like the ideal worker, the person that follows everything to a T. And so yeah, exactly. And so I feel like that's like I'd like if he's gonna be a spy, like he'd be the perfect, like he'd want to be like the perfect spy possible, like learn the language and learn the culture and all that. But yeah, and I feel like that was also like when we had that time skip and we see him on Gorman. And they were like, and then he was talking to his mom about losing his girlfriend and all that. I was like, wow, like they really just like did him like that. Like he's really just like chopped cheese. But I think that was I feel like it was cool to see his progression in this story and seeing that he wasn't just because in the first season I really just looked at him as like a static character. Like I didn't think he was gonna change. Always an Empire type of guy, just like Empire loyalty because of the propaganda, yada yada. But like to see him finally detach himself, and when he had that act of like when he was choking Dedra, I was like, okay, whoa. But like
Yeah, I did not expect it at all.
and but I think that I love that scene in the sense that seeing him really break out of this protective shell of where he's like just like wanting to really satisfy the people around him, like really impress the people around him. Like I feel like he's like always someone that wanted validation by like, you know, showing up neat, showing up on time and all that. But
Yeah.
like just seeing him break out of that and then run out into the middle of this chaos where he most likely knows that he won't survive that exchange. I would like to believe like he knows it's a kill box out there, and yet he still decides to go out there and run away from the Empire's safety. Like I feel like that like motif of like detaching himself was like really interesting, and I feel like it makes me think like what could he have done if he didn't get killed? Like, would he have ended up running away off planet, or would he have like gone to join the rebels? Or like, I feel like his story was had so much potential. Like, obviously, I think that him dying was necessary for the plot, but like, I feel like I really was impressed with his character development and like where he started versus where he ended was I feel like I also think that Cyril was probably one of my favorite characters at the end of the day. Just like yeah, his commitment in seeing yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, I
ooh.
mean, that's a good. I definitely. I really. Now that you're like describe it. Initially, I was just. Just can't convince me otherwise. But he definitely was a character to understand his place and how to and how to. Yeah, it's just so many layers that he's like. Um. So yeah, I can just I do really. Yeah.
So I feel like we've touched a lot about Andor and also like a fair amount about Rogue One. So I guess I'm just curious, like from like one Star Wars fan to another, where and also like keeping in mind like the Marvel universe where they're at a very low spot right now. Like where would you want to see the Star Wars universe go? Would you not want to see it go any further? Like, because I think the part of like the trouble that Marvel is running to right now, it's like, did they pass the point like where they could like safely stop, or is there just like there's no stopping because there's technically endless content to be made? Like, what do you want to see next from Star
Yeah.
Wars?
The difference between retelling is that at least definitely go backwards because
Mm,
there's just so many different eras to choose from.
yeah,
Whereas like with linear, right?
yeah,
Like
that's a
what
good point.
happens next and what happens next and what happens next and next event. I don't know. I mean, like I didn't see the acolyte.
I saw it. It was nah, it wasn't good. It was just like poor writing, poor acting.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think like chance to see like a High Republic great if writing was good. But then post when Return of the Jedi and like the Mandalorian era, there's and even that was sort of I have no idea. Like yeah, a niche that definitely one. I feel like ISB Imperial Academy, like that could be maybe definitely some. I think not like skeleton. Maybe teenager or young adult characters that age. I don't know. I've also I actually just I've been thinking about watching trilogy, especially because like I finished Andor in like a few weeks, on like twice, so
yeah.
Like maybe some sort of like sport type of.
Interesting.
Uh,
That'd be niche, yeah.
that way. Weird shit.
I feel like I always mess up this word. Not anthropological, not anthological, you know what I'm trying to say? Where it's like each like episode doesn't relate to each other.
Oh, anthology.
And maybe that's it. Maybe that's right. Yeah, yeah. But
I know.
but like kind of similar to like the what if in Marvel, like in nature, where it's like every not like and what is it?
It's
Anthology. Not like what if in the sense of where it's like, you know, random things happening, but like what if in the sense where it's like these just like one-off random episodes. I think it would be cool just to explore, like what you said, random parts of the galaxy and just like keep building the canon of it, and like exploring like the little things that makes, you know, the galaxy. Because I feel like we do know, and I love the point you said about how with Marvel there's such just like it's just like A to B. You can only add more by going forward because it's like all like there's not even little holes in between where you can interject things like both Star Wars. There's like one of my favorite things about Andor is that they literally built a bridge from Rogue One to or from yeah, straight to Rogue One, in which Rogue One leads straight to New Hope. So it's like completely consecutive, like filling in the gaps. And I feel like there's not many opportunities like that like because like let's be honest, people don't want to see like Robert Downey Jr. like again and again and Chris Evans like doing like the little, and there's like not even little stuff that they could fit in those gaps. And so I feel like Star Wars does have the unique opportunity to really like hone in on certain periods and blow it up and like show us different parts of the galaxy because the galaxy is so humongous and there's like a million different things going on at once, which I do love. But I feel like it's just the bane of all of it is poor writing, which yeah, I don't know how to get past that. Yeah, yeah, there is. What is it called? I watched there's like a Sith one and there's like a Jedi one. I watched the Jedi one, which was really good. I really like that one. But I don't know what the Sith one is called. But
Just stories like that. Galaxy has
unlimited.
is literally
You could do whatever you want. But yeah, I don't, and I feel like I'm trying to think about what would I prefer, movies or TV shows. And I feel like when we live in an age where it's like the lines between them is blurred so much, and that like a TV show is just like an extended ass movie sometimes, or like multiple movies smashed together. So I feel like I would probably prefer TV shows, but
I can get excited. I don't know. I think with Andor, I like the fact that
yeah,
like that's a lot.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I mean,
Good writing in Hollywood isn't mixing so well these days.
Yeah, bro.
But we have hope. I feel. Wait, did you saw Sinners, right? Ah,
I gotta go.
yeah, you gotta go. You gotta let me know what you think. Cause some,
I'll go.
yeah,
Like I said,
just go, just go. Wait, are you into Mission Impossible? Do you watch those movies?
no.
Oof.
What?
Yes. I already have my ticket to IMAX for the new one releasing this tomorrow actually, but I'm seeing it on Saturday.
I know they're like. I think. Remember that Henry Cavill, and he's like in the bathroom and
So,
yeah,
yeah.
when he pulls that move, I was like, okay, maybe I can see this.
Yeah, they got Superman throwing hands in there, man. No, it is good, and Tom Cruise just like he pours his heart out for it, and which is something that I didn't realize that Diego Luna was a director for Andor as well, and so like I feel like it's like that's like another dynamic of it. It's like not only is he acting in the main character, but he's also directing himself acting. So it's like it's clear that he
Yeah.
really wants this project to be the best, and I feel like that's just what elevates it so much. Where like everyone has a stake in like it's not just like oh you have $250 million, do whatever the fuck you want to do, like some She-Hulk bullshit, you know, like you got to make this like you got to make this count. Like people are counting on you to make this great and like really enjoy it. So that's that's my piece, but I don't want to I don't want to hold you too much longer. I appreciate I think we've been going
Oh,
for
you're good.
40 minutes already. Any last words or thoughts on Andor, Rogue One, Star Wars in general, movies?
I mean, if you haven't seen it, go. Covers. I talked and dad today, Andor, because I mean, saw the first season and started to my dad started season.
Wow.
Every day, almost every day. Started season two. Have you started? They're always good. Yes. Nathan out. Uh, and he was a couple or months either either Luthen or take
Tacoma.
something.
Tacoma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, speaking of Tacoma, you think he's dead?
He is.
Oh, that's crazy. Forte.
And they didn't say.
Yeah. Yeah. Had to happen, man. Can't be
No,
this.
but like Nathan, not like
Mm.
there's a reference. Okay, yeah, this.
Yeah.
But having a conversation about their lives and what's at stake and the position that they're in, and it sounds like very Jackson's where Nathan to me and he's like, "Are you watching?" I'm watching Star Wars. I'm watching
Bridgerton.
Andor. Like,
That's
I'm like,
funny.
I know you love Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Watch Nathan.
That's
This is
funny.
this
Yeah.
like definitely.
Yeah.
So there's this if
Shout out Chathan, man. But yeah, that's I think that's my favorite part is that like it's not just a good Star Wars show. It's not just an excellent Star Wars show. It's an excellent show,
it's a
and
good show.
it's something that I feel like everyone would enjoy watching, and it's not like you need I feel like only having prior knowledge like elevates your experience, but like it's definitely not a prerequisite or requirement to enjoy and have fun. And I feel like that's just like the beauty of the Star Wars universe and the possibility of it. Like how you said, anyone can watch it. And hearing Tony Gilroy, I think he said like when you watch it, like you relate to at least one of the characters because they represent such a diverse range of aspirations and motivations and experiences and backgrounds. And I feel like that's my favorite part of the story. Even though I can't use the Force, it's like I can imagine myself, being Andor, being out there, having to weasel my way out of some situation and look after your own self. So I feel like definitely lock in if you haven't watched it yet. And yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. But all right, great. Well, thank you so much, Akash, for joining again. I would love to have you back. We can talk again about more other projects and such that we can talk about. Wait, have you seen Arcane yet?
Is that the show you're talking?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I haven't.
Tap in. I feel like you would actually love that. It's a good show. But all right, I will not keep you any longer. And
No, you're good.
thank you so much to everyone who joined in, whether you're watching this now. As you can see, my computer battery is low. Whether you're watching this now or later, um, thank you so much, and we will see you next time. All right, let me. Oh, I gotta show them.